Yeah. Foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign leather. Foreign number, put the card in the ATM in the sad era. Yeah, flex mode, this ain't Southwest, this is Jet. I ain't gotta shut the cell off, cause the iPhone don't got a jet mode. Bad ain't pesto. If you wanna come, let's go. We ain't going nowhere special. I just wanna see more pesto. Hit your throw and I'ma catch those. Mexican, don't make pesos. Hit your sauce, I'll replace those.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. Coming up next, we've got what should be a good one between the Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Chargers. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us about 20 miles south of downtown L.A. at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson. Tonight, we wind up Week 5 with a good battle between the Denver Broncos and our home team. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Charger offense making their way out. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback out of NC State. It's Phillip Rivers.
And I'll bet right now there's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
right? Two touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
Now a first carry for Melvin Gordon. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
It looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves them with 7 yards to go on third down. A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. Working out of the gun, Rivers. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller in there for the sack, and it's an important one from a personal standpoint, as that is sack number 100 in what has certainly been a terrific career to this point. So on 4th down, here's Ryan Quigley now to kick this one away. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Now Brown. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10. Good starting position for the Broncos here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. 1st and 10, here's Locke. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. Denver has the first down to play, going for 15 yards.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. On first down, Locke going for Metcalf on the deep ball. That's going to be caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. DK Metcalf, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Both sides of the football in sync early. You force the 3 and out, and then you take it down, score points.
You know what that tells me? They sold their game plan really well. Head coach said, listen, we're just going to stop them on 3 and out. We're going to take the ball downfield and score. But he also told them how it was going to happen. They're going to run this. We're going to stuff it. Then we're going to take the ball. They won't be able to keep up with us. And they got it done.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time.
Yo.
Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically
Jesus.
end up in the end zone.
17 yards for the Chargers there as they've got themselves a first down. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and learning all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and fake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a different story.
He was looking for Travis Benjamin that time. Following the penalty, here's Gordon. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. The numbers a week ago from Melvin Gordon. 13 carries, 60 yards.
I was so glad you asked for a couple of offensive linemen to talk to before the game because they told us that in last week's contest, everything was clicking. Didn't matter whether they were doing gap scheme, zone scheme, power, whatever it was working. And they expect more of the same in this game, although they're prepared for some adjustments by the defense they expect to see.
With that, let's check out how the Chargers line up on offense.
I don't think it's hyperbole to say that Mike Pouncey is one of the best centers in the league. And to me, he helped usher in that new wave of centers. Agile, able to get to the second level and block people downfield, able to pull like a guard and get out in front of ball carriers, and pass protects really well, helps keep his quarterbacks clean.
And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. It's the first time that they've looked his way tonight, and he comes up with a first down on the play. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 47. From the gun, Rivers completes it to Benjamin. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. 25 yards that time.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
After 7-0 on EA Sports. On 2nd and 11 now. Rivers, complete. It's Henry. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. And that will be incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You got to get it done with your offensive unit.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
That one goes for 24 yards. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Now Locke. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Locke now on 1st down. He's got a man. It's his fullback. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
Catch is made by Hawkinson, the tight end. And they'll get this down to the 10.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop him?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. 2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now. We'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and score. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast and a big sack. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There was nothing available there for him.
Now on 4th down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt. And the Charger defense stands tall and they get the football back. So the defense asked to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion. Looking for Benjamin, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And his guys will take over at the 14-yard line in the red zone. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hawkinson. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal. Throwing now.
Oh, my God.
And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. T.J. Hockenson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Broncos push further out in front.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Phillip Rivers now gears up to lead the offense on the field. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Miles Jack there to make the tackle. Earlier this half, you were wondering how the defense was going to handle him defensively. Were they going to bottle him up at different levels, so to speak, is what you said. What have you seen so far?
Well, I think they've been absolutely terrific because it feels like on every play, if we were watching this in the film room, when they clicked off the film or stopped it, you would see 11 shirts of that same color right there in the frame trying to tackle him. That's what you're looking for.
We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports halftime report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started out in Texas, NRG Stadium in Houston, where it was the visiting Patriots come in and get the victory on the road. 38-14, the final score. Next, we head off to check out another game, and they were winners in that game over the visiting Kansas City Chiefs. Christian McCaffrey, a touchdown run in the victory. Lastly, let's get you way up to Seattle. See what's happening with the Seahawks. And they were victorious in that one over the visiting L.A. Rams. Russell Wilson, terrific in the victory as his guys up their mark to 4-1 now. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
So here are the Broncos to take over on offense. They're working on a 4-game winning streak, and they lead this one as well right now as they start 1st and 10. Here's Locke to throw. And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That's good for 28 yards.
Ready? Stick the out ball. Watch your slant, watch your slant. Watch your slant.
From midfield, here's Locke. Got a man open, it's Sutton. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards. Locke now on 1st down. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Locke under a heavy rush.
Oh,
and
my
down
God.
he goes. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
No, oh, my God.
Pressure gets to him again. Benson Mayowa, he's the one to get him this time, and back-to-back sacks brings up 4th down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
After the made field goal, Seibert back out there to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Rivers incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10. Rivers going to turn and give this one to his running back, Gordon. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Oh, it's a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Trying to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And he will score. Touchdown, Denver. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick 6 for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick 6 in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. I'll tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Chargers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. They trail here by 24 points. Got to get going soon, you'd have to think, as they come up 1st and 10.
You mean by 21?
So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Rivers out quickly here to Allen. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. On 2nd down, it's Gordon, and it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
But these guys going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
The Broncos going dime. 2 extra defensive backs for 3rd down.
Playing pass all the way.
Operating from the gun. Rivers, complete. Hunter Henry with the grab. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the third quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your play? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that, that's where it starts. When I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
Well, that's what he's done here in this one so far.
Ready. 18 Gators. Hey, we got to get this stop here, Pete. Check safety, check safety. Go.
On first down, right back to Lindsey. He's got daylight. And all the way home for a Bronco score. Phillip Lindsay, his fourth touchdown on the year. And the Broncos push further out in front. Well, what we just saw, we've seen a lot of broken tackles, and they're leading to a huge touchdown play.
Yeah, none of them more glaring than what we just saw there, but we've seen it throughout this game, whether it's in tight, running through the line, out in open field. They haven't been able to get these runners down very well. I have a feeling they'll be in pads a lot next week, working on their tackling.
Seibert on for the PAT. And that'll increase their lead to 28. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown.
It's actually a two-play drive. First one was
following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off.
Touchdown.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's some there have to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Throwing Rivers. And some room to maneuver. And now off to the races down the right side. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Chargers offense now back out onto the field. And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount, here's his opportunity.
Comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out at me for some reason.
Deep in there, right? Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Rivers to throw it. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. The Chargers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3. Rivers now. And caught by Henry. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because there should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Now Rivers throw into the hands of Gordon. It's a gain of 7, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. He's picked off near his own 48, and the return stops at the 39-yard line. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
How about that? Denzel Ward assisted Myles Garrett on that play.
Offense now as they get set to take over here. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the 4th quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says? Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
And he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. It's a gain of 22 as we tick towards 2:22 on the clock.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick. He's been decisive. And he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Alert 3, alert 3. Ready.
Able to push his way through. Still going. He'll have another first down and more. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it was capped off by a Phillip Lindsay touchdown run. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Charger offense making their way back out there. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff
Got a 5th one.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Here's Ryan Quigley now as he's on to punt for L.A. He gets this away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field, and a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. They'll actually throw it with Locke. He completes this to Sutton. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a 1st down. Locke now, 12 of 15 throwing the ball, 80% so far, and it's 1st and 10. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. On 1st and 10, here's Locke. And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. On 1st down, Locke. His throw caught at about the 5. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Again, it's Locke. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Cortland Sutton was the man he was looking for, but it'll be 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Now Locke again. And this will be caught. Well, forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown.
I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it? Yeah. This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head. But
that's
the virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
The extra point up and good, but this one was decided anyway, as that will be the final action in this ball game. So we had action to the very end of this one. The score on the final play that they didn't need to have. They didn't just run out the clock, though. They added to their final total.
Played it all the way to the end, and you know some coaches preach that and tell their teams that's what I want all the time, and they feel like if they don't do it themselves, they're not living up to the message that they're sending out.
So for Denver, their strong September has carried over to October as they move to 5-0. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the home team here, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And they'll be off to Oakland next week for a date with the Raiders. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.